Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Nicholas. Today we have some very satisfying projects to do. Visually, it's not going to be satisfying for me physically, but I really think that it's going to make some areas look a lot better, and it'll answer some questions that we had about some things. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I'm talking about. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is figuring out the entrance to the secret garden. And I was stumped on how I wanted it to come out this way, and I didn't love any of the ideas that I thought about. And then I had like an epiphany, and it made me so excited. So it is a secret garden, and I think that the entrance should also be secret. So instead of it coming out this way for everyone to see, I think I'm gonna put it behind, well, I know I am, behind this. So the entrance is actually going to be right here, which I think that's kind of cool. And then we could do like some, I don't know, maybe some shade stuff or something to, I don't know. But so it would start right here, and obviously the bar cart won't be there. And then it will do a curve to meet back up to there. It might end up being a sharp curve, but I actually don't think it's going to matter. Because when all is said and done, I would really like to, because all of this is going to be mulch, so I would really like to plant this up to block that. So maybe like a hedge of like yews or boxwoods or something. And I don't know, I really like it, and I hope you guys do too, because it, like, I was so stumped about it coming straight out, and it just was really giving me like, I couldn't sleep. I was like really trying to figure it out, and then it just hit me, and I love it. So what I'm gonna do is, because there's grass in this area, I'm actually going to lay down either cardboard or landscape fabric. I'm not sure which one. I have both, but I don't know if I have enough landscape fabric to do the other project and this one. So it might be cardboard. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And then the other area is going to be so satisfying, but it's going to be a lot of hard work. And I don't know that I'll be able to get everything done today. It might take me a couple days, but I at least should be able to get it into this video. So it should be completed for you guys. So let me show you the other spot that we're going to tackle. So if we take a step way back, these are the beds that are directly in front of my greenhouse. And I don't know why, but I feel like I don't talk about them very much. But when I built them, I was just thinking about, placement, like, oh, it would look really nice to be directly in front of the greenhouse. But as you can see, there's a humongous tree over it, and it gets pretty shady. I mean, I still get stuff to grow, but I usually can't do like vegetables. I can on the far ends of these beds. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, what we're going to do is we're actually going to fill these in between with gravel, because I have a bunch left over from that project. And the reason I want to do that is because it is an absolute pain to run the weed eater in this area. So I would really like to just nip that in the bud right now and just have gravel. I haven't decided yet, but I think as of right now, just for now, I'm going to actually stop them right here, like build like a little, or dig like a little trench so that there's a separation between grass and gravel. And I'm just going to do the very inside right now, and then I'm sure later on down the line I will come around and do a square of gravel around everything. But I just don't really feel like I need to do it all right now. What I would like to do is make my life easier, and that is to get rid of the grass in here so that I don't have to weed eat as much. And that's what I'm focused on right now. And then if later on in the season I feel like I need a large job to do, I'll make the square around the beds. So I have a mix of cardboard and landscape fabric. I'm going to try to use the landscape fabric up first, and then we'll use cardboard after that. And then we just need to start laying the stuff down, to be honest with you. But before I lay this stuff down, I'm going to run the weed eater really close and just take it straight down to dirt, and then lay the landscape fabric down and go from there. So I just need to start. I need to get going. I forgot to mention the products I have. I have a shovel for the gravel. I have my battery operated weed eater. I have landscape fabric. There's a couple different kinds, but I'm just going to use up what I have. And I have the pine bark nuggets for the secret garden path. I obviously have a pile of cardboard. Well, it looks like one piece, but there's more underneath. And I have my very large pile of gravel that I need to do something with. So we're going to do something with it. Here we are. It looks really weird, but I think it's actually gonna, I think it'll look really cool because you'll have, like, visually you'll see the gravel here and back there. I think it'll kind of, I actually think I'm gonna like it much better than just grass. But I did use up all the different types of landscape fabric I had. I don't know that they're like, like the best landscape fabric, but I think it'll be perfectly fine. This really black one was thin, so I doubled it up, which I think will be fine. And the reason I'm not really that worried about it is because the grass, it didn't grow all that great here anyway, so now I don't think it's going to be like the most vigorous type of grass that's going to shoot through, but if it does, I think it'll only be minimal. So now, before I start laying down any of the gravel or pine bark nuggets, I'm actually going to come over to this area and lay down landscape fabric here, and then we will move on to putting down the pretty stuff. You guys, this project has spiraled out of control. So it's a new day. My phone died apparently sometime while I was filming, and it's turned into something much bigger than it was intended to be, but it is the goal. It was the goal. So let me just show you what I've done. I did make a mistake, but I'm not going to undo it, and I'll explain it to you just a second. So here's the greenhouse, and here's a new flower bed. So this was my end goal, but what I was going to just do for this video was the pretty much from here back. But then I got to this point and I kind of just went for it. But the mistake that I made was I have never in my life, and I never would intentionally, put landscape fabric in a flower bed. Luckily though, most of this will just be mulch when all is said and done. The only thing that might end up being a flower bed area is right here and maybe a little bit in the front. But I'm not gonna rip up this landscape fabric. I'm just gonna like carry on, because I mean, I probably will plant it up relatively soon, but I've already done the work and I just am not interested in undoing that work. But what the initial, or what the like end goal plan was to connect this area over here with a flower bed that goes like this, curves around, and then meets to there. And I think I'm just gonna do it. I know it's kind of crazy, but the easy part about it is gonna be, I just have to edge like I've been doing, where I do that deep edge between flower bed and grass. And then we're gonna lay cardboard down in all of these, or the rest of the bed that we're making, and then wet it down and then lay mulch over the top. So it won't be like this. It won't be as difficult. So we're gonna do that first. And then I don't know if we're gonna start by putting rock or gravel in the raised bed area in front of the greenhouse, or if we're gonna move straight on to doing the sidewalk or the walkway for the secret garden and mulch. But it all needs to get done hopefully today. I came out super early. It's like 8 o'clock. That's early for me. I usually work night shift. But it's chilly. I wish I would have wore something more, but I think once I start to get to work, it'll be fine. So let's just do it. Oh man, this has been a job. So far, laying down everything that I did today, it's taken me about 2 hours, which I guess isn't terrible, but we still have to lay all the mulch, all the pine bark nuggets, and all the gravel. So let me show you guys what I've done and explain why I did it the way I did it. I know I just got done saying that I would never intentionally put landscape fabric in a flower bed, but there's a reason to this madness. And the only places that I put landscape fabric in this large bed are along this line so that I can try to help prevent grass growing in between the gravel and the mulch. And then I also did around the edge so that I can try to help prevent the bleeding of the grass going into the flower beds. The like the trench method that I do does help a lot because it makes a really large gap that the grass has a issue, like has trouble bridging that gap. But so I put landscape fabric around the very edge to do that, and then I also did put some at the entrance right here, just because I would never be putting plants there anyway, because that's where you walk. So, and then I also did the cardboard in the rest of the areas, and I did like tack everything down with landscape fabric or landscape staples, which you do not have to do. I just felt like, because usually at this step you wet the cardboard down, and I might do it a little bit, but I can't do it a whole lot because, as you know, the ground is already, it's already like very wet here anyway. And I had to take up all the rocks from the little walkway that I had going like that, and I actually loved that walkway. So I might put it back potentially, or I might, because I don't have enough to do this L and that stretch, I might go see if I can find some rocks that I can, or like stepping stones that kind of match these, so that I can just mix and match all of them to, because I still think that a walking path here and then there will be nice instead of walking on just mulch. But these are not going anywhere. I might use the little teeny tiny ones to create our walkway for the cat cave right here. So, but possibly, I don't know. So now I have to start doing stuff. I'm tired already. I think I'm going to start with the walkway, and then mulch, and then gravel. Yeah. Hey.
Hey. Hello.
That bird just flew in my face. Well, as you just saw from that very creepy hello that my mom just gave, I had to call in reinforcements because I want to get this done today. And I don't think that that's looking likely by myself. So let me show you what I did, and then we'll just continue. Here is the look from back here. I really honestly only got the path done and some of the mulching around the path. So the path here, I like the shape of it. It took me a minute to get it worked out, but I think it's looking nice. And then I was able to pretty much mulch under the bench, and then that's as far as I got. We did it somehow, some way. And we just thought of this, instead of having the pavers, why not match it with the back? So now when you see it, I think when you step back really far, like even past the raised beds that we're about to put gravel in between, it'll all make sense because, well, let me just do that for you real quick. I mean, the tractor is totally in the way, but if you see gravel back there, there will be gravel here, and then you will have mulch and pine bark nuggets, and then pine bark nuggets. So it'll kind of be cohesive, I think. I don't know. Hopefully I like it. I like it right now, but I guess if you really looked at it hard, it could look like stripes, but we're not going to look at it like that. So there's one job left to do, and that's put the gravel down. And then as soon as we get that done, I'll give you a tour. We'll do some close-ups, let you really see the space. But I made a lot more progress with Mom here than by myself, obviously, but like we did a section I was counting in like 13 minutes. That probably would have taken me like 45. So I'm not talking about the whole thing. That didn't take 13 minutes, just a small section. It's done. I mean, I'm exhausted, like exhausted, but it's finished, and I'm going to probably pass out for the rest of the day after I shower and eat. But let me show you guys what we got done and what still has to be done. Here are the raised beds. The first raised beds I ever had in my garden. They, you know, I told you about it. They grow. I do like shade stuff here, and these are like my hospital beds, because if something is getting burnt from the sun or whatever, I'll bring them back here, let them like rehabilitate, and then I move them other places. And then I do use these two beds sometimes for vegetable production. But we grabbed the boxwood that was in between those four raised beds, because we thought that the scale looked right here, and then the planter stand thingy that I had, it didn't look, it was getting worn out and breaking down. So I just wanted to put a pot in its place. And then as you continue on, you see, I feel like it's a like dramatic difference. I don't know if I'm being extra, but I really think it looks very different. And I still have to put the walkway there, and then there, that goes around the side. And I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but I've had stepping stones here for I don't know how long, since the beginning of the greenhouse, and I don't know why I never thought of doing this. Well, I guess it was because I had grass and it looked better with mulch. But anyway, and then I was thinking, because if you do step back, I feel like it's very like there's a line. So I feel like I need to put something here that kind of breaks up the line. I don't know. And then I do think that once I put the path back in up by the hostas, it'll break it up a little bit more. But it's just so peaceful and relaxing. And there's so many places that we can plant things now. I mean, I probably won't go like really heavy on the planting, just because I still want to be able to see the structures and the greenhouse and stuff. But a couple key plants here and there will look good. And we just gave this area a mulch refresh. And then as you walk back here, it's the secret garden entrance, which makes sense. Like a secret garden should have a secret entrance, right? That makes sense in my head. And then I think that something cool like right here would look nice too. Maybe like, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of plants or shrubs that do shade, but I was thinking like a gervella or like a yew or something, I think would be really nice. But the curve of this walkway, I think, is pretty clean. I'm very excited about it. So if you're standing this way, I'll recreate that path that goes here, and then it'll meet up so that you can walk back to the potting area and to the seating area without having to go down one of the paths. It looks so good. That's definitely going to be it for today. I mean, I'm sure it makes for a good video, but I'm not sure why I do things like that where I get so carried away, but it looks good. I guess that's all that matters. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon. Keep learning and keep growing.